girls. Welcome to the Blacksmith and the Tech Guy podcast. Here's the Blacksmith.
My name's Will. I am a blacksmith, full-time band instructor. I teach people how to make things out of steel and other forms of metal, and also make stuff for people as well. Yep.
I do tech stuff.
All right.
That's about it.
About it.
What do you want to get into today? Let's see. Last week, did we cover anything that needs to be talked about again? Do you remember? I don't recall anything specific that we need to touch on. But
not off the top of my head, I don't think so.
All right. Well, there was. What do you want to do?
Ubisoft news, I think.
Oh, there was actually. You just reminded me.
Another problem for
They've
Ubisoft.
done a wonderful deal here.
With that racing game, right?
Well, what is it? Yeah, I mean,
court case.
Ubisoft recent court case. Yeah, I didn't spell that right, did I? Yeah, I did. Hey, look, I just didn't capitalize Ubisoft because they don't deserve it. Yeah, 2 California residents. So basically, this is a wall of text. You're welcome to read it. If you'd like to, go ahead and pause it, or you could get Grok and you could look it up yourself.
Right.
Or you know what, honestly, you could probably go to ChatGPT and see half of this. It's up to you. This is really in relation to Ubisoft's been doing this for a long time.
Yeah.
In relation to them wanting to own the games that they sell you. Basically, you don't ever own the game. You own the ability to play the game.
That's what their owner said. They said, it was a few years ago, he was famously quoted as saying, gamers need to get used to not being able to own their games anymore. There's a lot of interesting points about this court case, though, that I saw that were going back and forth. Some of the items being both of these litigants had physical copies, so they didn't just buy the digital download version, so they actually had a CD. There was an actual some of the arguments that they put forward was that there was an expiration date actually inside the case that they had that said 2099.
Wow.
And so that's a big right? We're jumping ahead of ourselves. It was the game called The Crew that was available through Ubisoft, and they decided to stop servicing this game. So this particular game people purchased, there wasn't an offline mode available, and because they decided to shut the servers down, people who owned a physical copy of the game could no longer play the game anymore. And I think that's pretty nasty,
Yeah, it was a big deal. I remember when I wanted to play Far Cry. It was
the original
Far Cry.
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
I don't even know when that came out.
Long time ago.
When I wanted to play that, I had to download, Ubisoft and sign a user agreement saying that I basically didn't own the game.
Right.
But it was like at 2004.
2004.
Okay, so it was probably, if I had to guess, I would say it was probably more like 2006 I wanted to play it.
Right.
And yeah, it was like they were already on this track.
Right.
So it's been a bit. And it's, I don't know if we see it in here at all, but I've seen a bunch of Ubisoft. I saw a bunch of stuff in response to it. So.
Oh, gotcha.
Recently, you can see the stock price is down, right?
Right.
So, super nice.
Right.
Ubisoft claims players don't own the games they buy.
Right.
Just a limited license to access them is highlighted in the lawsuit over the shutdown of The Crew.
And the other item that came up in court is when you looked at the games you go to purchase, it doesn't say rent. It doesn't say acquire license. It says purchase on the button, and it's that itself is saying you're purchasing something.
Yeah. Which is what they're saying, you're buying a limited license.
Right. But it doesn't say acquire license or purchase license. It'll say purchase game or purchase or whatever. The other thing they had an issue with that they were arguing in court that was interesting was about in-game currency and how they got around this partially was that you're buying in-game currency to buy the game. So technically you're not buying the game. You're buying in-game currency to buy the game. It's a convoluted argument for the law, but they're saying, oh, you could have used that in-game currency for anything. You didn't use cash or an actual real money to buy the game, right?
But it still has a value.
It still has a
monetary value to it
in their universe, right? So that's their argument, which is kind of crappy, you know?
Yeah,
I think.
I have to follow real quick. I'm sorry.
I just
Nina Marie Daniel.
Oh, gotcha. I just, again, it's Ubisoft is it's an ultra big game company for now. At times TikTok, but
they're gonna get even bigger.
Right,
when Tencent buys them.
I just it's a constant thing of big game companies which are kind of crapping on the little guy because they can. I think that's going to come to an end, though. I think if Ubisoft decides to if they finally go down, I think that's a shot across the bow with EA and some of the other big makers. I think. Yeah,
potentially. Yeah, that kind of brings me to this actually. If we want to talk about that, this World of Warcraft thing I was talking about, because it's similar to what you were talking. Now, for me, let's take a look here. WoW
Blizzard.
Content release timeline.
If it wasn't for WoW, man, I tell you what, Blizzard's been
there it is.
They haven't had they haven't been what they were in a long time,
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed Diablo 4 for the first about 4 months I played it. I liked it.
I was bored, man. I was bored.
I like it. I liked it. But they broke the Barbarian. I had to stop playing because that was my class, and I guess it's better now. But to be fair, I'm not going to go back.
Right.
Because it's just, honestly, if I went back to Diablo, I'd go to Resurrection, Diablo 2. So, they rebooted it and it's got a nice player base.
Sure.
And,
I'm having fun with PoE too, but the same thing.
Although you heard what they just did with that, right?
Yeah.
I can respect Ascension now.
Yeah. It's very cool.
Well, I mean, yeah, but that was like a thing where they were like, absolutely not.
Right. Well,
and now they're like, people don't like that.
Yeah. They're trying to make it, they want
to make it friendly.
The game hasn't been released yet. They're changing things, right?
Yeah. This is all
based
alpha.
Based on people's, input, right? Which what I like about them is that they're very responsive, to people's input, and they're trying different stuff before it comes out. So
100%.
Yeah. So anyway, but I love Diablo 2. That was great. It was a great game back in '99.
A long time ago. That was the first Blizzard game I really ever played. Well, Diablo was. You had Diablo, and you got, I think, Diablo 2. You had both.
Yeah.
And I got to play through both. Really liked them.
Nice.
And then, of course, then I played Warcraft 3, and then you had Warcraft 3, Ice Throne. Right.
Yeah.
Frozen Throne. Sorry, Ice Throne.
Right.
That was in the Disney universe.
Warcraft 3 was fun.
Yeah, and then we played World of Warcraft, of course.
StarCraft.
StarCraft was great.
Hours.
Yeah, I had no idea for the longest time about those games. Really,
Yeah.
I was like, hey,
RTSs.
I played I like to play, Tony Hawk Pro Skater, right?
Right.
Madden, RPGs,
Yeah.
shoot 'em up games,
I can still
action.
hear the back of my job's done.
Yeah.
I can still hear
Job's
it.
done. Yeah, it's great. So this kind of brings us to this World of Warcraft roadmap that I was talking about now
for 2025.
For 2025. So recently, what has been happening, and happened even when we played, right? You would get a big expansion,
okay,
and then that expansion would be live for a couple years. And what it would do is every so often, every 6 months,
get a chunk of stuff.
Boom. Hey, here's a new instance, new dungeon, and maybe a new raid or a new zone and whatever, a new thing to go after, a new carrot. So they've kind of changed that. Here's this new patch timeline here. So we just saw this hit Undermine right here, season 2. Okay. And then it rolls right into, this is coming very shortly, a couple weeks. Okay. And this was all supposed to be one patch.
I watched the
and this kind of moves down the line now. So
trailer?
They're dropping this little bit.
I watched the trailer for this, and honestly, it did not feel like World of Warcraft to me.
For what? Undermine?
The expansion.
The War Within's actually.
Is that the one with the dragons, right?
No, that's Dragonflight.
That's
the last expansion.
That did not look like.
I actually loved it.
Did you? I did.
I did. Yeah.
The animation was different. The colors were off. It did.
Oh man, no, it looks so good.
No.
Yeah, you'll have to look at it one time.
So I'm a little different with WoW. So I did play WoW.
It reminds me of when Sunwell came out. Like the in terms of the gameplay, I guess just the overall involvement. It's like there's a lot to do. The art style's bright. I mean, well, the areas
the world's
are bright.
not bright though. That's the thing. Like it's not. Like
a lot of it is.
Even with even in the Sunwell and in the Blood Elf area, like it was light, but it wasn't bright. Does that make sense? Like there was light colors.
Well, that's my favorite. Blood Elf's my, that's my deal.
Right, I liked it too, but it's not bright and happy. It was like,
oh no, it's not bright and happy.
And that's
I get you. Dragonflight was a little more fun.
It was like
a little
fairies
bit.
and shit.
Yeah,
that's not World of Warcraft.
But this is much more back to the Fire and Brimstone World of Warcraft.
And I'm going to say something controversial because I did love World of Warcraft. I love vanilla. Amazing. I loved Burning Crusade. I loved it.
Yeah.
Where I started falling off was I did not think Wrath of the Lich King was a good expansion. I know people are going to hate me for it. I don't think it lived up to what it should have been. And then after that, there wasn't a good expansion after that, honestly, in my opinion. I didn't last long after that. And I checked them out here and there, but there wasn't even anything that was remotely interesting.
I would say Legion was good. The worst was Warlords of Draenor, by far.
The Pandas.
Shoot, we could even... You know what? Honestly, it was fun. It wasn't bad. It wasn't... Let's look at these. Okay. Because I mean, there's a lot, right? So...
There's a lot. Nothing beats Illidan, man. That was like peak.
Best and worst. So people rating him. Oh yeah, it's probably not even the best thing here.
Best. Oh man, right. I just saw him put Wrath of the Lich King in the top. Are you kidding me? Get
out
of here.
You have to realize that the peak player base started in Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah,
and that's why it's so. My favorite was Burning Crusade.
Yep.
I like vanilla. I loved Burning Crusade.
The 10-man raids, the 20-man raids,
and
25-man raids were awesome.
My peak time was when Sunwell dropped right before Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
I loved the Sunwell Plateau. I liked the Isle of Quthalos.
It was perfect.
Awesome, right? And that's what War Within reminds me of right now, so far. But because you're underground a lot, so you're in Dwarven mines.
Okay.
So that's kind of what's going on right there. Dragonflight was fun. Shadowlands, it was all right. Legion was good.
Meh.
Warlords was terrible in my opinion. Mists of Pandaria was just... It was all right. Cataclysm was when the world broke, right?
Yeah.
So it was good, but I liked I don't know. It's like I like a little bit from everything, but really vanilla and these two is what I like the most of, because I like the boring tundra and stuff like that. I think the zones were really cool there. So. Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting because what they're doing right now is instead of giving these big content chunks, these are like 2 weeks apart.
Interesting.
So it's like instead of
little drops.
Yeah, here's this big thing, and everybody's rushing to do it, and you get the guys who are done in 4 days.
Right.
And then if you don't catch up on that pace, you're kind of toasted, right?
Right.
So this kind of gives you a little bit more of a... You don't have to play as much if you don't want to.
Okay.
And you can still get the same... You can still be in the grind.
Okay.
A lot of people don't like it right now. I don't know. I don't really care. I don't play enough for it to matter to me, honestly.
To be honest.
This right here, a lot of people are looking forward to this, of course.
I hope so. I hope they enjoy it.
Midnight looks really, really good. We're talking about this right now. They're talking about this, what we were looking for originally, like the end when we were looking for the Titans and stuff.
Right.
That's what this is going into finally.
Gotcha.
And they have this laid out 3 expansions long. The story is already 3 expansions long. So it's a big roadmap, but for the whole thing, not for this, but for the whole thing. Anyway, I just thought it was interesting because instead of the 2 big chunks, 3 big chunks, 4 big chunks, you have these little pieces that they're distributing out.
There was a game that came out, I'm getting off of your topic. I'm sorry.
Yeah, go for it. We're done on it.
There was a video that I watched that I found was interesting. It reminded me of it was the gentleman who broke off of WoW when it was real young. And I'm trying to remember the name of the game. Oh, darn it.
Is it new?
It's brand new. It was his studio, and they released videos of 3 games, and only one of them looked interesting, and it was a space combat.
Yeah.
The
I can't remember the name of it either, but
anyway,
I just saw
sorry
that.
about that.
Yeah.
Kind of off track there, but if you know what I'm talking about in my random ramblings, put it in the comments.
Yeah, I can't remember. Dang, I watched it too.
Yeah, I don't know what it was, but I just mentioned it because it was really a blast to the past with the animation style and the way things looked and everything. Like back to, took me back to WoW from that original style. It was nice. Yeah. It's fun. A new space game developed by...
We'll see.
Yeah.
Here, it might pull
it up.
Wildgate. Boom, they got it.
Oh, that's because WildStar was their game.
Yeah.
That's why.
Well, this is a different studio.
Is it?
Oh, yeah, they went under. WildStar went under. I liked WildStar.
I know, but I bet you there's going to be some people that are... Because it looks similar, the art style.
I thought so as well. Yeah. Let's take a quick look. If you can type on the keyboard, YouTube, then that would be
WildStar.
excellent.
I bet you if you go to Grok and ask them WildStar versus Wildgate, and I bet you they're going to be...
Here's the official trailer. 2 weeks ago, boys and girls.
Yeah.
It actually reminds me a lot of Overwatch a little bit.
Yeah.
Which a lot of these guys broke
Welcome
off
to the Reach.
while they were making Overwatch and MMO.
Oh, gotcha.
And,
This reminds me a lot of
WildStar, the color scheme, the animation.
Moonshot.
But hey, I'm sure you'll be fine.
The Reach.
Now you're gonna need a tough team.
Reminds me of The Expanse.
break something.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it was a great show.
Hello, Luke.
And an even tougher.
Yeah, this looks fun.
Quality
upgrade. Upgrade your ship.
Keep her flying, and you'll find wonders.
Gotta upgrade your ship, repair your ship,
Oh, yeah.
raid other people's ship, steal their stuff.
Or the other crews will blast you and take your loot.
Yeah.
That's a distinct possibility.
EVE Online, anybody?
Right.
The artifact is getting away. So get ready. When your airtight plan goes out the airlock,
Into the
Crazy.
fray.
improvise. That was good. Use your turrets.
Stealing their
Looks
stuff.
fun.
Hell, use their turrets. Traps, tractor beams, big red buttons.
Overloaded their reactor.
Because the Reach gives.
Resources in. Coming in hot.
That's cool.
And the
Resource collection.
Damage! Laser damage!
Can't promise fame and fortune here.
Mine layer here!
Or that you'll even make it back.
Get to the gate. Go, go, go,
But
go.
I can promise this.
Yeah.
That's my artifact.
It's gonna be one hell of a story.
And potentially Caesar. That right there looks like WildStar's.
Right.
Almost font and everything.
Yeah. That's why.
But it's possible. Ex-Blizzard dev, first-person shooter. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, no, that's a possibility for sure.
Are
Are there any similarities in WildStar video game versus Wildgate video game?
Well, I wonder if they have any developers from there. Probably. Oh.
Moonshot Games. However, here's what we know. Wildgate was developed by Moonshot
Carbine
Game.
Studios, original team members.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I called it. I could see.
Worked on StarCraft 2, of course. So
Oh,
nobody worked
interesting.
on WildStar.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, but it is a thing.
Yeah.
It could be. We just don't know.
All right.
Mainly,
Yeah.
it's
So-
not a for sure thing. It's not any CEOs or anybody in the.
StarCraft 2, man, I never got to play StarCraft 2, and I love
What?
StarCraft 2 1 so much.
How did you not play StarCraft 2?
It passed me by. I didn't get a
Well,
chance
I
to
have
play.
it.
Do you?
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Beat it. It's great. It's
Yeah.
awesome. It's fun.
Jim Raynor.
It's still fun.
Jim Raynor. Biggest badass in the
Yeah.
galaxy.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right. Well,
It's
that
all
was
about
pretty cool.
Protoss. So,
The Protoss.
yeah. I used to love playing Protoss.
3 and 4. There we are. So this is I was
yeah.
I was a crackhead at one time. In fact, such a crackhead that last night, because I'm like, I'm gonna play 1 and 2 again, even though I lived my life by Tony Hawk Pro Skater and probably was the best person in the world at one time. Not kidding. Everybody, I'd smoked everybody I ever met. But I picked it up again and I was playing like 2 nights ago when we're watching a show because I just turn the sound off, right, and go play. And Sarah's like, you're like a teenager again. And I was like, she's like, oh my gosh. I was like, dude, what? I mean, I'm watching the show, bro. But I got to beat him before this comes out.
Right.
So got to play 3 and 4. 3 was like when Chad Muska first came in, you could do like your own custom, like
tricks and stuff.
Yeah, like custom parks.
Yeah, I got you.
Build your own custom parks, but it's way better now.
Yeah,
They've done so. It's really good.
Yeah, should be fun. But those were fun games, and that's something like me. I was never part of the skater group, but I still enjoyed these games.
Yeah, they're fun. Yeah,
they're fun, even though I knew nothing about skating walking into it. We
don't need to watch that.
Yeah,
I didn't know if it'd blow the picture up or not.
Gotcha.
But I'm sure everybody's seen the trailer for these.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm excited for that. Can't wait. That's gonna be fun, and I get it free.
Do you?
Yeah, because I have a year-long Xbox Game Pass.
Oh, nice.
So it's free to. I also have Avowed free. Have you ever heard of that game?
No.
Oh, also Assassin something or other.
Yeah, it doesn't matter.
I don't know.
Speaking of those games,
can't even play it free.
Don't
even want to play it free.
You can pull that up.
Okay.
Failing up. This was so Smash JT is a YouTuber. He's broke a couple of really awesome stories recently, and he's starting to get eyeballs being able to break big stories. This is like probably the third big story in the last like month and a half he's broke.
Gosh, that's not the chick that went to Bungie, is it?
No, this is the chick that
or not Bungie. I'm sorry.
No,
Halo's new developer.
Yes.
Yep, I've read this.
Do you know where her previous job was?
Yeah, Project Concord.
Yes. So this is one of two that. So this lady, he says right here, do not harass, contact, threaten, anything. That goes without saying, right? Like, just let her be an idiot in her own little space.
Never personal attacks.
Yes.
This is true. I mean, people are people.
So, she was in charge of a lot of Concord. The game's so good that they had to pull it off.
Let's see. Let's see how good.
It's not even up there anymore. You can't find it.
Come on.
They pulled it down, and they decided to write the game off as a loss instead of
no, dude. It was supposed to be the new Star Wars.
Yeah,
I think you got that wrong.
Yeah, no, they had movies planned, books planned. They had this huge. They got way ahead of themselves on this one. They had this whole 10-year plan for this game. All-time peak 8 months, 697. So there is more.
Good job, PlayStation Studios.
Now there is more. They said PlayStation spent a total of $400 million on this game.
Yeah, and that's because the original studio spent $2 million.
Yeah.
Right, and then they bought that studio and then dumped another $2 million into it.
Man, they really thought this was going to go somewhere.
They really did. It was called internally the next Star Wars.
Right. Oh, it's so ridiculous.
Yeah. What is cool though is that this company right here, PlayStation Studios, at one time was amazing.
Was.
Yeah. And
we'll see.
It was Sony Online.
Right.
Dude, that was EverQuest.
Yeah.
That was Final Fantasy 11.
Right.
What else? The other EverQuest that just launched for PlayStation. I can't think of EverQuest Adventures.
Right.
Really, ahead of their time.
Yeah.
But now,
ahead
of their time again.
They decided
this time has passed.
Right. So
it's all gone.
She has moved into Halo Studios. So she's going to be working on some unnamed. She's the principal world designer at Electronic Arts Studio, which is. But let's go back for just a moment.
Sorry about that.
No,
I did not mean to.
That's all right. So
that's to the side so we can.
Yeah.
Do 2 different things at once.
Yep. So this lady, man, if you see her story, if you go watch Smash JT's video here, he kind of goes into it a little bit, but changed her name to Professor, and there was a lot of HR problems in the actual studio.
That's her name?
She renamed herself Professor, and there was a lot of HR problems because she demanded people called her Professor.
Yeah, that's a real good attitude to have, folks, by the way.
Right. So she would have, this
Call
is
allegedly,
allegedly she would have like on the job seminars about her politics, and it would be like talks with the professor and she would mandatory people come, from the studio.
Uh-huh.
Oh man, yeah. Anyway, if you want to know more about it, go to smashjt.com. Click on his video here. Read his show. He gets really into depth in his video about it.
Yeah, he's great.
It's disturbing. This is the other one. Corinne Bush. She was the game director for the Dragon Age, the Veilguard, right?
Veilguard, whatever.
Veilguard, right? Yeah, the Failguard.
Failguard.
Yeah. So, she left
Skeleton Key.
Just as Skeleton Key Studios, which is a Wizard of the Coast studio.
Yeah.
So
gonna kill Dungeons and Dragons.
Yeah. So, so
that's already dead.
It's been dead. But so she's got another prominent position in this new studio. So that's it. Well, never goes to show. You got friends in the industry. It doesn't matter how bad you are at your job, you will find another one.
Eventually, these board members are going to get tired of this failing.
We'll see.
And fire everybody.
I keep thinking that, but we'll see.
Here we go. I was just curious as to when Wizards of the Coast went woke.
Right.
For lack of a better word. Lack of a better technical word, I should say. But yeah, okay. They needed more diversity in Dungeons and Dragons because apparently dragons aren't diverse enough, folks.
Right. Orcs are racist.
Orcs are racist, yes. Yeah. I mean, well, honestly, they are. Orcs are racist, so are goblins.
Right.
They only like themselves.
Right. Well, elves. Anyway, we're not getting. We're not going to get into interracial Dungeons and Dragons politics.
Why not? That's better than what we have today.
That's true.
Actually, what we had a little while ago.
Yeah. No, that's
Professor Brown, baby.
That's her name.
Good job. And who's going to see that? Nobody.
Nobody cares.
Because it's gone.
Yeah, nobody cares.
Nobody beat the game.
Right. Oh, that's true. That's hilarious. That's true.
Were. Yeah, those are excellent pronouns. Were.
It's sad, man. Fireworks Studios had a history, and
well, I wonder what it was. Let's take a look. Was it crap or not?
Well, it's funny. Fireworks Studios, their first product was not software but hardware. Their first big money maker that they made was the Walkman. That's where the walk comes in Firework. Yeah, they used to do hardware before they did software. Yep. So they've been around for quite a while.
Before failing with Concord.
Yeah. That's hilarious.
Where's the frickin'? There it is.
There it is. Makes my ears bleed with that enter key.
It's loud. I'm sorry.
Yeah, Bellevue, Washington. Not surprised.
Yeah, I was just there.
Just there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
You notice these people aren't there who had worked on projects such as Destiny franchise
right.
before its acquisition by Sony Interactive.
Yep. Destiny, huge. I love that game. That was great.
The game's development began around 2016.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. It was initially under a different team.
Yeah. No, surprise. I
don't see. Fireworks Studios was founded in 2018.
Right.
Bellevue, Washington, as a subsidiary of Probably Monsters. The studio was established by industry veterans, including some Bungie and Activision developers like Tony, can't say his last name, and Ryan Ellis, I can say that one,
right,
who had worked on projects such as the Destiny franchise before its acquisition by Sony Interactive Entertainment in April 2023. Right. Firework focused on developing Concord, a multiplayer crap game. The game's development began around 2016. It took them 9 years to produce that trash. Initially under Probably Monsters with a team of about 150 employees by the time of Sony acquisition. During this period, Firework built a custom game engine for Concord to deliver a high-performance 60 frames per second experience that lasted 13 seconds when it went live.
Yeah.
Vibrant worlds with... Never mind. Polished mechanics. You know what? I don't know.
They weren't polished. It wasn't done. It wasn't done.
It wasn't
and
what
they had
people
9
wanted,
years.
man.
Yeah, it's 9 years.
They also conducted technical tests to refine the game. So I don't see anything else that they did.
Let's see. What was Firewalk before Firewalk? That's what.
Do anything before that?
Well, was it a different company?
I gotcha. What was
Firewalk before?
Before Firewalk. I tried to be nice that time.
Yeah.
It didn't exist as a distinct entity. The team that formed Firewalk consisted of developers who worked at
Bungie and Activision. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's just probably people who moved over to do kind of like what do you call it, Raven or whoever, Call of Duty,
right? Or that
Treyarch,
that new one, not Treyarch, but yeah, that's another one too. But the one that did that vampire game that's coming out. All the nope. There we go. Get it out.
Oh, God.
He's got a sickness.
I'm down with the sickness.
That's it. What's it? They made that vampire game. It's all the good people
Dawn
from.
Walkers.
That's right. It's all the good people from CD Projekt Red when they left. I started making another game. So.
Oh, if you guys haven't watched The Witcher on Net, I'm just kidding.
Yeah,
watch that.
Right.
The old stuff's good.
No, I heard Devil May Cry was really horrible too.
Oh,
I haven't watched it. I haven't had Netflix once they started doing the questionable children's content. I dumped my subscription a couple years ago, so I don't get to watch a lot of stuff on Netflix.
I have it because Mike Tyson fights on Netflix.
Well,
I'm just kidding.
No, he does or doesn't?
Well, he did.
I don't know.
He fought Jake Paul.
Oh, did he? Gotcha.
Yeah. Well, if you want to call that a fight, I mean, whatever it was.
Yeah, right. Whatever it was.
What else we got? Okay, so we got some for entertainment. I guess we could go there.
UFC, yeah, sure. There's a big card coming up tomorrow here.
Yeah.
So from tech and gaming to
punching in the face,
kicking, sports, UFC. The only real kind of sport league that I would say, oh boy, I'm going to get in trouble for this one.
Why?
The only real sport league that's left since the NFL, NBA, NHL, and NBA have all been captured.
Which sucks because I really like basketball and football a lot.
I used to love football, man. I was a huge football fan. But so anyway, big card.
Here's our card, yeah. We got Alexander Volkanovski and Diego Lopez. So for those of you who do not know, Alexander Volkanovski was the featherweight. He probably is a featherweight GOAT, honestly. Beat Max Holloway 3 times.
Wow.
He, destroyed Yair Rodriguez. He convincingly he destroyed Brian Ortega, actually. The closest thing in that fight was a guillotine that nobody in the world would have survived, and Volk survived it.
Wow.
But when he came up against Islam Makhachev, he lost. Now, I did think he won that first fight. The second fight, he got head kick knocked out by Islam.
All right.
So Islam proved the victor there.
Yeah.
And then the next fight, he fought Ilia Topuria, who knocked him out as well.
Oh,
he came back too soon. For sure, too soon.
It's on the downswing, you think?
And, he's 35.
Ooh, so
and
this
he
could
had
be
said,
it for him.
he's a 145-pound guy,
Right.
So he had said that.
So what's the seeds?
He didn't think that.
Sorry.
He was pretty sure that he wouldn't have any issue mentally.
Okay.
Getting knocked out and getting back in there in like 4 months. Okay. Right. Everybody told him to take 6 months to a year off.
Right.
He's like, no. I'll be fine, dude. I'm Volkanovski.
Yeah. Well, he's not 19-year-old Volkanovski.
So when he went in, he was hesitating. And he said he didn't know until he got in there, and then it hit him.
Right.
Like, oh, dude, I could get knocked out again.
Yep.
And it totally messed his head up.
Right.
So he's been out for about a year now, taking that time.
Good.
Ilia Topuria vacated the title to move up to 155. Now, I wonder, we can watch that real quick.
See what the seeds are.
Ilia versus Volk knockout.
So this is going to get us copyright.
This is how Ilia Topuria knocked out Volkanovski. Volk lands a jab.
So you can see right here, but Volk's kind of
comes into range. He tries to time Volk's jab with a right overhand while moving off center
Ilia's
line.
a fantastic
it barely misses. Volk tries to switch to southpaw to make the jab less predictable.
He's backing him up.
To the center,
he's backing him up.
Cuts off
He's got a black line right there.
Volk switches to orthodox.
Pushing behind that black line so he can't run.
Which is Ilia's cue to
Genius,
come in.
dude.
Ilia throws a 3-punch combination while
there.
pushing Volk against the octagon. He frames him and lands an overhand.
Boom, dude. Just that right hand was
This
just
is how Ilia Topuria.
magic. Anyway, so that's what happened, right? Usually he presses forward. He doesn't allow anybody to do that to him.
Right.
Well, he allowed.
He didn't look strong there, that's for sure.
Yeah,
at least in that exchange.
He allowed Diego.
So what about Diego? So what about Diego Lopez?
Diego Lopez is
26-6. That's not nothing to scoff at.
Well, he's on a, I think 5-fight win streak.
Wow.
And I think he's got 22 finishes, and a good majority are in the first round.
Wow. So he's a big hitter.
Yeah, his jiu-jitsu's top of the line. However, Brian Ortega's jiu-jitsu is probably the best in the UFC, and Volk was able to get through that. And Islam Makhachev's as well. He didn't submit him.
Okay.
So even though he had his back, he couldn't submit Volk.
At 36, man, that's going to hurt.
But yeah, what would be interesting is we can grok it actually, because I don't know the statistic, but I think it's 0. Previous champions above the age of 35 to come back and win a title.
Oh, gotcha. I don't see that happening, really. What's his name came back? Chuck Liddell came back for a little while, but I don't think he ever won the title. I don't think he came back and won a title.
I don't think he was that old.
Huh?
I don't think he was a 2-time world champion.
You don't think so?
No, I don't think so. Not in the UFC, but he was in Pride before that. So.
Oh, gotcha. Maybe that's what I'm thinking of.
So we got Randy Couture.
Okay.
George St. Pierre, Daniel Cormier, Fabricio Ward.
George St. Pierre, I forgot about him, man.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, he's good.
DC is awesome. One of my favorite guys right there.
Daniel Cormier.
So
he was always fun to watch, man. I always liked rooting for
fun.
him. Yeah, I liked rooting for him.
But yeah, so
this is how Ilya Topuria knocked out Volkan.
The robot says his name wrong.
Yeah.
Anyway, so yeah, this is going to be Alex is an underdog. It's one of the first times he's been an underdog recently,
right.
Except with Islam and I guess actually his last couple fights have been. But Diego's up and comer, new guy.
Right. Cool.
We'll see what happens.
So what else you got?
So this fight, Michael Chandler and Patty Pimblett.
I know Patty Pimblett.
Yeah,
man.
Patty the Batty.
They, man, there's a lot of folks saying that, he's going to be somebody. We'll see.
He's a huge draw already.
He's got a great record so far, too.
Yeah, he's 22-3.
Yeah. He's still young, too, isn't
excellent jiu-jitsu. He's got, he's a little loose with the hands.
I heard a lot
doesn't
of,
respect you.
I heard a lot of comparisons to, what's his name? Gosh, I can see his face. Man, I'm having a blank day brain.
You're talking about the Irishman?
Yeah, boxer, Irishman.
Boxer.
Not a boxer, but he's
Conor McGregor.
Conor McGregor. That's the one. Yeah.
And the reason for that, the only reason for that comparison is
they're both stand-up fighters, though, right?
No, not really.
Oh,
Patty's they are. Patty is. He's a well-rounded MMA fighter.
Okay.
But his jiu-jitsu is.
Oh, okay.
Connor's got good jiu-jitsu too. Don't get me wrong, but he's not a black belt.
No.
Patty is.
No, and man, when I used to watch Connor, if he was on the ground, I was worrying. He wasn't.
But he's good on the ground. Okay. He's just not good compared to the guys he's on the ground with.
Right, that's true.
Right.
Yeah,
Whereas
absolutely.
Patty is elite on the ground.
Right.
Well, potentially, we're going to find out because Michael Chandler is a Division I NCAA champion wrestler.
Wow.
And
nice.
he was a champion at Bellator.
Okay.
And when he came over, he fought Dan Hooker and knocked out Dan Hooker like that. I mean, he's got a lot of power in his hands. He's short. He's stocky. And he's just an explosive individual,
That's the age
but
difference.
he got, click on it. There we go. 38-30.
Whew, that's a big...
But Chandler's he's a young 38, to be sure. He's always been in shape. He's never been out of shape.
This here, too.
Yeah, but
difference.
Michael's small. He's 5'7". Patty's 5'8". I mean, shoot.
All right, but look at that. That's gonna help, man. That's definitely, if I was in Vegas, I'd be putting money over here. We'd see.
Well, he's a favorite.
Oh, is he?
Patty's a favorite. Yeah,
I gotcha.
But Michael's, he's lost to Charles Oliveira twice.
Okay.
Who is the number one guy, right? He's lost to Justin Gaethje decision, and he got choked out by Dustin Poirier. Those are 1, 2, and 3. Right, so he didn't beat anybody in 1, 2, and 3, but he beat Dan Hooker, who I think was number 5.
Okay.
And he beat Tony Ferguson, who I think was number 5. When he knocked Tony Ferguson, I got knocked out of the year with Tony Ferguson.
Patty rated? What's
Patty has had a couple. His last showing was excellent against Bobby Green.
Okay.
But Bobby Green isn't even in the top 10. No offense to Bobby Green, he's a great dude, but I think he's a top 15 guy, maybe top 20 guy. Patty beat him with he choked him out.
Okay.
So. What really happened is he kicked him in the leg. Bobby Green fell into it, and he choked him.
Gotcha.
And I mean, we could watch it. He had a fight against Jared Gordon where nobody thinks he won that fight, me included, but they gave him the win. He's had a couple boring fights, like 1 or 2, and some really good ones too. But this is the first time I've ever seen him take it serious.
Okay.
Like he used to blow up to like 200 pounds, 210 pounds in the off season. He'd get fat.
Right.
And no more. He's focused, dialed in.
Cool.
So, yeah, I think this is his chance.
Yeah.
And then
I hope so.
Yair and Patricio. Patricio's from Bellator.
Dude, Patricio, look at those
Michael
fights.
Chandler.
Look how many fights.
And Patricio's like, he's 5'5". He's a little dude, but he's a monster.
Yeah.
Patricio's a monster.
Dude, 45. He's almost at 45 fights.
Yeah.
That's like, that is nothing. Man.
Yeah, it's nuts, right? And then Yair's a, top 5 guy.
Yeah.
So this is going to be a good fight. He's a striker. He's a wrestler and striker. Knockout power. He's got knockout power too. So this is going to be a good fight. This right here is, a lot of people think, if you don't know who Bryce Mitchell is. Do you know who Bryce Mitchell is? Thug Nasty.
No, okay. Yeah.
So he's from Arkansas.
Right.
He's a rapper, which is hilarious.
That's
He owns a freaking farm.
So.
He's a legit farmer, but he got in trouble recently for some of the things he said about Adolf Hitler.
Yeah.
Which were basically like Hitler was a good dude.
Oh yeah.
But what he meant was to the people who followed him. They believed that he was a good dude, and we turned him into this demon.
Right.
To go to war, basically. So it was what he was trying to get out, but they absolutely destroyed him.
Right.
And I don't really agree with him on that.
Yeah.
But he's very Christian.
He was
very
trying to say something and said it dumbly.
Yeah. And he's very into the he's very open about demons and stuff, and he believes that, everything, if a girl walks by and he looks at her butt, he's praying about it because he believes that's a demon that's telling him to do that thing.
Gotcha,
He's very religious.
Gotcha.
In that way. And
now Silva,
he's also a flat earther.
Okay. So, well, they're not smart. If all of them aren't smart,
But when he starts talking about it, you're like, wow.
Get out of here.
This makes so much. Dude, no. I got to find the ice wall now. Yeah. No, I'm just kidding.
So Silva, is that any relation or no?
No.
Okay.
No relation there. But he's a monster.
Is he?
And a lot of people think because Dana White doesn't care what his fighters say.
Okay.
Which is great.
Right.
He lets them be who they're going to be,
sure.
sink or swim.
That's it. And that's how you get headlines, how you get eyeballs.
They were like, what are you going to do about Bryce Mitchell being a Holocaust,
whatever, right.
He's a Holocaust denier.
Right.
And he was like, Bryce Mitchell's an idiot. He's a flat earther. Who cares? Like, I think he's an idiot. I like the guy, but he's an idiot.
He's going to fight.
And then, so they asked Bryce, like, he was like, I love Dana White. I love the company. Thank you for letting me say my piece. And I don't care if you think I'm an idiot.
Right.
It's fine with me. He was famous right now for, John Silva was saying that, he's going to give him brain damage. And he was like, I was born with brain damage. I got no problem with it, So it's going to be
paid for.
But Silva's on a streak, and he's...
It looks like, man, 15 and 2.
Excellent. So a lot of people think they're feeding Bryce Mitchell to him.
Oh, to pump his numbers a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Bryce can get it done. So Bryce has got excellent submissions, good wrestling. Okay,
you look at their records. Their records are comparable. It depends on who they fought, but I mean,
Bryce has fought. He fought Ilya Taporia. He took a nap for a long time when he fought Ilya, and he fought. Oh my gosh. What's the dude's name that just fought? Oh my gosh.
They're pretty on par, man. Size, weight, age, record.
I mean, it's the UFC. Anybody in here, I don't care how bad you think they are, they have a chance.
Yeah.
100%.
Just takes one good punch, man. That's it.
Nikita Krylov, Dominic Reyes. We look at this. Dominic Reyes, I don't know, he got knocked out 3 times in a row. Right? Wow. He's back on a tear. I think he's won 2 of his last 2 fights.
Okay.
But dude, a lot of people think he beat John Jones, who's the best to ever do it.
Oh, wow.
In a fight. So I mean, that's just the UFC. People do this, they go on streaks one way or another.
Right.
But anyway, it's going to be a pretty good card.
Get your head rattled and you're not the same person afterwards. You
know? Dan Ige is going to be great on the prelim card.
Yeah.
Jim Miller has the most fights in the UFC, period.
Wow. Jeez, my goodness.
And it's not most MMA fights, but in the UFC. So almost all of those fights have been in the UFC. He's the longest. He fought in UFC 100, UFC 200, and UFC 300.
Wow.
He got smashed in UFC 300, but dude, he's 41.
Wow.
And he just had a knockout win.
That's nuts.
So he's great still.
38 and 18.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. Whew. Yeah. 18 losses? That's a lot.
But it's back in the day when they were fighting everybody.
That's true.
Juicy J right here and Darren Elkins, that's going to be a good fight too.
Yeah.
So
cool.
The damage. Early prelims, we got, I'm just going to, Trayshawn Gore and Marco Tulio.
Yeah.
So Trayshawn Gore was the Ultimate Fighter winner, I believe. Yeah.
Okay.
Ultimate Fighter winner. So far, he's kind of been like he's been hurt a lot. So
okay, gotcha.
It's going to be really, if he doesn't do well here,
he's done.
He's gone.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I think. But I could be wrong, but I'm not ever. So
strong.
This one's going to be. Oh yeah, that one's done. Never mind.
Yeah.
So anyway,
cool.
Good card tomorrow night.
Yeah, no, it's gonna be fun.
If you like controlled violence,
right?
It's and a company that. I mean, they run through ESPN, right? Like, it goes to show you that these companies who virtue signal, they don't really care when you bring in the money.
It's money, right? It's about the money. Yeah.
Dana White's like, there's no way you're telling that dude what to do.
Yeah. Well, MLB just pulled all their stuff from ESPN because they're renegotiating.
So's UFC.
Are they?
They're going to be.
Yeah,
they're actually going to be moving to Netflix with a new change of Netflix management.
Everybody's saying ESPN. You're not getting the eyeballs anymore. ESPN. You're not the sports channel Premier anymore. So we're not paying you Premier money. Yeah. No.
We could jump into tech real quick if you want to. I was just going to talk about this for just a sec.
Yeah, we can do that.
Like real fast. It's nothing.
Did you have to check the message? You can cut that if you have to. But your phone went off.
What?
Your phone went beep, beep, beep.
Nope. My wife has my phone.
Mine was turned off. Oh, my God.
Yours is not turned off. Yours is turned on.
We can cut this out. Sorry. Well, I guess we can take a potty break if we got to take a potty break or something.
I do not yet. I don't have to pee. I will have to, though, at some point, I guarantee you.
That's my bad. I turned this thing off, man.
It's all good in the hood.
No, we can talk about.
There we are.
There's something for the trades. That's all right. More of a beef. There we go. Power off. Power off. Thank you. All right, here we go. Oh, you want to start again? Yeah. So 3.
Oh shit.
2.
1. Now I can see a spike.
Yeah.
There we go.
All right. So Microsoft's marijuana chip.
I don't even need that. Yeah, Microsoft's Major Anna. This thing goes so high.
Marijuana chip.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, they really rubbed up the bumpers.
There it is.
That one, right?
Okay, so
you
remember when this thing came out, right? Look at it. It's in his hand.
Wow, that thing's huge.
Right. Okay. So the world's first. Now, okay, you showed me this a while ago.
I did.
Okay.
Yep.
Now I was very skeptical of it.
Okay.
Okay. Microsoft today introduced. So it's not a while ago. It's the 19th.
Yeah.
It's last month, a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
Introduced the marijuana chip, the world's first quantum chip powered by a new topological core architecture that it expects will realize quantum computers capable of solving meaningful industrial scale problems in years, not decades. That means it ain't real.
Yeah.
It leverages the world's first topoconductor.
Right.
A breakthrough type of material which can observe and control marijuana particles to produce more reliable and scalable qubits, which are the building blocks for quantum computing.
Yeah.
Okay, so when I went ahead and grokked it,
yeah,
because I was like, where are they sitting with this, right?
Yeah.
So I put, how legit is this chip?
All right.
Real technical.
Okay.
Have there been any actual deployments yet? Because I was curious if that chip was like real in their hand. Also, do they have a timeline?
Sure.
The legitimacy of Microsoft's marijuana chip is a mixed bag with bold claims tempered by significant skepticism. Microsoft says it's created topological qubit using Major Anna zero modes, which could make quantum computers, by the way, anytime it says could, you know that it ain't here yet. It ain't real yet. Quantum computers more stable and scalable, potentially hitting 1 million qubits on a single chip.
Right.
They've published a peer-reviewed paper in Nature detailing measurements of fermion parity in their indium arsenidide aluminum device, suggesting they're harnessing MZMs.
Right.
They argue this is a step toward fault-tolerant quantum computing with error resistance built into the hardware. Some, like Harvard's Philip Kim, call it an exciting development for its potential scalability.
So just to recap, if you have no idea what he just said, the way this chip is supposed to work is that it uses extremely small parts of particles to keep bits, because when you break it down in any computer, zeros and ones, right, on or off. That's what the computer knows. That's how it does everything. Whether it's a video game, whether it's anything, it's zeros and ones. It's just how many, how fast. This particularly makes it in such a small scale that it makes it incredibly faster. However, because it's so small, the theory is that you have to take this material and you have to put it in a sub-zero, near zero, absolute zero environment.
Well, you use liquid nitrogen.
Liquid nitrogen, right? So on almost
because Harvard did
zero.
have a quantum computing chip that they had been testing years ago.
And this is the way they all work, right? So the problem is a strafe right now, as of last time I looked, like a stray photon can shatter your data because they need to make sure nothing disturbs this. I mean, just the fact if you have a particle coming in from the atmosphere or from outer space, that's why they're saying the fault is so high. When a normal chip, if I remember right, I think they need 5 backups to make sure that if there's an error in data, they check the other 4, and then if they all agree, they can come in and change. So they have to have the same data 5 times on each chip. Redundancy to make sure, because there's even errors on normal computers.
Of course. Well, yeah, it's a lottery.
The problem with quantum computing is to get where they've actually gotten now, they need to have 100 times redundancy because it is so still unstable. And they're hoping the changes can fix some of that. So, when I was reading about it, they basically split America, or East and West, and they're in a race to quantum computing. East is going, it doesn't matter that we need 100 because we're going to build 50 football stadiums worth of them, and 100 isn't nothing. So they're just going to go brute force it, right? Now the West is trying to go more quality instead of quantity. So we'll see who wins, right? That's kind of.
So this is where I was kind of stuck in, because if you read that article, it's like Microsoft's like, yeah, we've done it.
Right. They both said they'd done it, but neither one have got it, because if either one did have it,
it'd be over.
Yeah. Right. The race would be gone. Yeah.
The critiquing part is what was good, I thought.
Right.
So a couple physicists aren't convinced, is what Grok is telling us here, including Henry Legg and Sergei Frolov, argue Microsoft's evidence doesn't conclusively prove MZMs exist in the chip at all.
Right.
The Nature paper's editors even clarified it doesn't confirm topological modes.
Right.
Only a platform for future experiments. So
it's
totally a hypothesis.
It's a rocket
right
ship with no fuel in it.
Yeah, it's a hypothesis. I have no idea what's going to happen. Legg's preprint critiques the topological gap protocol as flawed, risking false positives. Microsoft's history doesn't help. 2019 claim of detecting MZMs was retracted in 2021, raising eyebrows at the American. Well, actually, that kind of is good for it a little bit, because it shows they've been working on it for a lot longer than what they're saying.
Right.
The American Physical Society's 2025 summit debates got heated, with some calling the claims a fairy tale that could hurt the field's credibility. This is kind of where I feel like it is going with Microsoft, to tell you the truth. But maybe I'm wrong.
Maybe.
There's no deployment of it, period.
No, there's not.
Yet.
As far as I've understand, any of them that they've had working have worked for under 10 seconds. And then they've either burned up or failed. And, that's what I understand. There's nobody's come close to having a stable platform yet either.
No,
side.
Nobody's had a stable platform, period. I think it was Harvard. It might have been Stanford. Oh, that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway.
Short-lived chips. Several short-lived
chips, yeah.
Yep.
So, they burn out.
Right.
But anyway, I thought
interesting.
That was interesting because it carves a new path for quantum computing, and then you look in here like, it hasn't actually done anything yet.
Right, yeah.
But this is a cool website, and it's a pretty picture.
Right. Yeah,
that guy looks cool.
He's standing in front of
that guy.
funny lights with lab coats, so it's got to be real.
The guy reminds me of Robin Williams if he didn't shave and missed his dad.
He reminds me of Peter Dinklage.
Well, you'd be able to see Peter's feet.
All right.
Sorry, Peter. No, I'm not. You were crazy about the dwarf thing.
I hope. Part of me hopes they do. Part of me hopes that it's never understood and crack that box, because I just, I don't know.
Come on, Grok. No,
I don't have that much faith in humanity.
I have that much faith in Microsoft.
All right. Yeah.
Runtime broker.
Yeah, Bill end up bringing his buddy Epstein back instead of doing something nice for it. Ended up,
That's what I'm surprised you didn't name it that.
Yeah, the Epstein chip, right? Yeah. Come back, Bill.
Anyway. That was all I had for tech. I just thought it would be fun to jump into that, because I think we talked about it on our first episode.
Yeah, absolutely. It's really good. And if there's any developments too, we'll keep you guys updated on what's going on. It'd be awesome.
For sure.
So, I had an interesting story, immigration. I thought it's kind of funny and kind of worrying at the same time. And it actually comes from a source that I don't usually. It comes from a source that I don't usually trust. Yahoo News hasn't.
That's my favorite.
People and Yahoo News have neither one really been proven to be trustworthy at all times, in my opinion. But quick backstory: previous Biden administration now has, there's been proof that they were just handing out Social Security cards, hundreds of thousands of Social Security cards. So to folks that weren't, they hadn't filled out any paperwork, hadn't proven who they are, any of that kinds of stuff. They were just like, oh, you're here? Here's a Social Security number. So what the Trump administration is trying to claw some of those back, and trying to say, well, they made a mistake. You got a number, but you never officially become a citizen. And you start cleaning the books up. So when you look at this, one of the more interesting and unique, and depending on which side you're on, concerning.
If you like America, you should probably be concerned.
Well,
if you don't like America, you should leave.
Illegal aliens, need to go. I just thought this was creative. So they took, right now, as it stands, 6,300 of those Social Security numbers that were handed out, and they just turned them dead.
Excellent.
So
Perfect.
It's like, number's not good, you're dead, as far as the government goes. So they're trying to get that to remove the monetary incentive, because a lot of these people were getting these Social Security numbers and collecting Medicare and all kinds of benefits and stuff like that. It was a way for them to shuffle money to immigration where it shouldn't have spent, because Biden administration is using a lot of FEMA funds to help migrants, the influx of migrants, when FEMA isn't supposed to be for migrants. Immigration's supposed to be for migrants, but he didn't have money in that bank account anymore. So now let's move to FEMA.
Yeah, let's open up the savings.
Now let's just give them Social Security numbers, and then we can just take money out of Social Security and pay them that way. So I like that they're doing something. I think it's creative. And, hopefully they will self-deport. I saw another,
go ahead.
I saw another, sorry, I'm doing all the talking. I saw another news report where they announced that they were going to set up a program to charge people that don't leave. It's funny. Targeted advertising. Computer was listening to us. That's why he was pointing it out. It's kind of funny.
Prilosec. We were talking about heartburn and the blink cameras, because I was talking about my doorbell.
We were talking about Prilosec and blink cameras. There's no association between the two, and those are the two ads that come up on the show. It's funny.
Yeah.
So
you owe me money. Blink.
Right.
Prilosec.
So anyway, they were thinking about charging people that responded but did not self-deport $1,000 a day penalty until they do.
I don't think they're going to get that money.
No, they probably won't, but it's probably, they don't expect to. It's probably a vehicle to make it hard for them to financially exist in the United States is probably where I think they're going with that.
I do think what they should do is just have a meeting, a big meeting. They could do it in Washington.
Okay.
All illegals who are here currently.
Okay.
They should go ahead and put some information out, all meet in one place.
All right.
This sounds like it's going to be terrible, right?
Okay.
But it's not. You have two choices. You could deport, or you could join us. Now, when you join us, you're going to join immigration, but we're going to rename it.
Okay.
That division of it. What they're going to do is they're going to go grab and take the people who don't want to be here, who are citizens, and trade spots with them.
Cool. I'm okay with
they
that.
can throw them in the trash.
Yeah,
send them back to Mexico, whoever, wherever. I don't care where.
Right.
If you don't want to be an American and you live here, right? If you got that, you're flying a
free one-way ticket. All it costs you is a passport.
And I think you just switch spots.
That's
so
it.
if we have an illegal immigrant who wants to be an American, who has American values, wants to work hard, wants to raise a family, take care of their family, and care for their neighbors and brothers and sisters.
Be careful. Ilhan Omar might take that a little too seriously.
She may. Yeah, you're right. Yeah, she's one. We could have a new illegal immigrant senator.
That's true.
A couple of them. AOC. She doesn't need to be here.
Right.
We could switch I'll switch that with anybody, any illegal immigrant who wants to be here any day of the week. Let's go. I don't care where you're from. If you got American values, I would like you here. And the people who don't, I'd like you gone. So if we can make that swap, and you just tell them, remove them. They're going to say no, but that's okay. Just remove them, and you can take their spot. You can have their car. You can have their house.
Right.
You just get them out.
Yeah.
That's it. Simple.
Yeah.
Easy, right?
Yeah. It's funny.
And we don't have to worry about a lot of things anymore. I could really get into that.
Right.
If we get rid of them, then we don't have to worry about this.
It'd be a nice
we don't need the pronouns anymore.
All right. A lot of other things.
So anyway,
that was about the core of it. That's
fun.
It's unique.
The core, get it?
The core.
Just talked about computing.
Yeah. And apparently we need cheese.
Yeah, and Hawaiian shirts.
Yeah. It's
Which is
the
true. I
old
do.
guy.
I just ordered a Hawaiian shirt.
Yeah, that's funny.
Okay,
that's
but
hilarious.
I ordered. Okay, so I'm going to do a plug here for this
Okay.
company who I like. Hilo Hattie.
Hashtag not sponsored.
Not
Could be-
sponsored.
could be
Would love to
sponsored.
be. I'll wear it all day on the
Me
podcast
too.
if you send these to me. These are dope
I need
because
a nice loose shirt that I can
they
hide
got-
my gun under.
nice. This is the one I ordered right here.
I shouldn't. Is
'Cause
that
I had
allowed
to
on
get-
YouTube? Can you say
what?
gun?
Yeah.
Okay.
You just can't point at it.
No.
Thanks.
Okay. I leaned too far. Now we are. There we go.
I just ordered this one right here because I
Alright.
need one for the Miami party.
Okay.
Right. So,
Right.
but yeah, I mean, look at this, right? These are
Yeah.
made in Hawaii,
Hey,
all parts of it,
that's nice.
right? And they're $65,
I like the green
50
one there.
bucks, 60
Oh.
bucks, right? They're not expensive.
That's nice. I don't wear red, but that's nice. Cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of nice ones.
Yeah.
So Hilo Hattie, props to him for making stuff here.
Yeah,
You know, in
absolutely.
the United States, I like this one a lot.
Yeah.
In the United States. And
I don't like blue either, but look at upper there.
yeah, nice, comfortable,
Yeah.
right?
Looks good.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so-
they have one bulletproof?
No, no, they don't.
Not yet. huh?
Sadly, no.
Yeah, that's good.
Well, they don't allow guns in Hawaii, so
Oh, gotcha.
you don't have to worry about bullets.
Look at that. The turtles.
Yeah,
That's
turtles is cool.
man.
Yeah, surfboard got
Guitars.
bright orange. Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
cool. This one would fit you nicely in the pink. I think. Yeah, you look very good in that. Like this one too. Yeah, so that's
I think
excellent.
I like this one. Palm trees down there.
Yeah, that
That's
one's
kinda
cool.
Nice. Yeah.
You would like that.
Boat.
That's definitely old man.
Yeah, well. See this?
All of it's old man.
See this? Yeah.
But anyway, Hilo Hattie.
Yeah, Hilo
in the
Hattie.
United
Yeah,
States.
check them out. That looks great. I'm gonna have to go home and check them out
Pretty cool.
myself.
And they have straight up sets for your family.
Okay.
Right? They got you can do kids, but they got they have like where is it at? They have like family sets somewhere. I don't
Okay.
know. Anyway, but you can like
So they send you a family when you order the shirts?
yeah, you get it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
it's easy to adopt. It's pretty cool. They also got coffee, tea, snacks, all from
Oh,
Hawaii.
nice. Kona.
So-
Love it.
Pretty neat. So anyway,
Yeah, good stuff.
that wasn't that's just something cool.
Yeah, cool. Jumped up.
What do you want to do? You want to jump into
Yeah.
finish this stuff up?
Let's see how you can do it. You said you got some stuff about Elon.
Oh, I was
The
just going to talk
Musk
about the.
Kind of ridiculous hate. It's been kind of going
Yeah,
on.
it's real brief. I'm not even going to show
Okay.
anything. I was
Yeah.
just going to mention that, I've heard it a lot from a lot of different people. I hear comments here and there all around me.
Right.
I work in an industry that has a lot of people who don't believe the way that I do.
Oh, God, that's so going to get us in trouble.
Right.
I didn't mean
you hurt
that.
your wrist?
I did.
Yeah,
I see
it's no
that.
big deal,
Look,
yeah.
it's swollen.
It's swollen, yeah. It's the nature of the business that I'm in. A lot of times
Right.
people are more left-leaning, but it's crazy to me because I can't believe that people would rather be ripped off by the government and have things stolen from them than
Right.
allow somebody like Elon Musk to take care of that.
No, he's trying to
To
steal
handle
your
business.
Social Security. Don't you know that?
Right. Oh, shit.
He's trying
that's
to steal
why.
your Social
Oh,
Security number.
dang,
I mean,
yeah.
you gave it to him when you used PayPal, but
that's right.
yeah,
Yeah, that
damn,
was okay.
That didn't work.
Yeah.
All right, so he already has your social.
Yeah. Well, who doesn't? Right? Did you give it to your local hospital?
Shucks. Yeah, the government has it already. They
yeah.
gave it to you.
Yeah. That's so crazy. So yeah, I can't. No matter what side you fall on, the
Right.
violence it's going against a person, their businesses, things like that.
Chill out.
Alex Jones was just on Tucker Carlson. I don't know if you've seen that or not. It's fantastic, by the way. I
Interesting.
mean, I know a lot of people don't like Alex Jones, and I have a certain love-hate relationship with him as well.
Yeah.
I really think that recently he's turned things around,
Good.
and he's got a clean head on his shoulders now,
Nice.
and he's unstoppable when
Definitely
he's got a
looks
clean
better.
head on his shoulder. Yeah, he's
Saw
lost
it.
69 pounds.
Jeez.
Yeah.
Looks like a
He
beast.
stopped drinking.
Nice.
And, I understand. I have a lot in my head that runs around all the time. And I am a very conspiracy-oriented individual. And alcohol does help regulate that. So I
Yeah.
don't drink, and it's difficult to live.
Okay.
Right?
Get it.
So I get it. Just until you get used to it, then it's fine.
All right.
But anyway. But, he was talking about the assassination culture.
Gotcha.
And that's what's scary, right?
You
Is
can
like,
pull that up. That was there was a story I read about
Assassination
that.
culture?
Yeah, no, it was there was a polling agency. I don't remember the one off the top of my head, but it was the percentage of left-leaning individuals that agreed with assassination.
Yeah.
And I found it shocking. I think if I remember right, we'll find out in just a minute.
It's crazy to take somebody's life because I'm not even like, I don't want to take anybody's life.
No.
Well,
50. It was 55%.
Pedophiles,
I think, if I remember right. Well, yeah, that's different. They're not people.
That's not a human yet.
It was 55%, if I remember right. Yeah, claim.
It's a sensitive topic, folks.
Yeah.
Prone to bias in reporting and survey design.
All right.
However,
55%
of self-identified left-leaning respondents in the U.S. said assassinating Donald Trump would be at least somewhat justified, with 48% saying the same for Elon Musk. Now, that's half of Democrats.
As frustrated and as angry and as out of my insane mind I got with Biden and Mr. Obama.
And Bush.
And Bush as well. Absolutely, 100%. And Bush as well. Wasn't a fan of his either. I not once thought assassination was a good way. No, in fact, I was like, when people would go, I wish somebody would just kill him, I would say, absolutely not. Like, yeah.
I get why you say it.
Yeah.
But setting a precedent like that, and you're taking somebody's life, it's just not.
I don't know.
It's not right.
It's how I was brought up. It's how I bring my kids up. You know, you hear the kids, they don't mean it in the way they think they mean it, but they'll say, oh, I hate that person. Be like, wait. Hate is a super strong word, like that you need to be very specific.
You shouldn't have hate in your heart.
You need to be very specific before you give yourself over to that word, what that actually means. And I try to let them know the gravity of we use that word way too much. Hate does not mean dislike. Hate does not mean frustrated with. Hate is a word that should be reserved for, like, uncontrollable anger, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I feel about it. We have way more words in the English language that can better describe what you're feeling than being lazy, right? And yeah, that's not a good thing.
Yeah. So this is kind of what I was talking about is 48% of people want Elon Musk dead.
Yeah.
Who,
and he's a guy.
He just brought astronauts back.
Right.
He's an American hero. They were seriously stranded up there.
Absolutely.
He's an absolute American hero.
Right.
And whether you like him or not, that doesn't matter to me at all.
People hated Howard Hughes too.
Yeah.
Right.
It doesn't matter to anybody, but what does matter is proofs in the pudding, right?
Right.
They're saving us tons of money, right? So if we go and we look at,
it's amazing when you look at the
Doge right here, we can see what they've done, right?
When you look at the similarities between Howard Hughes and Elon Musk, there are little differences. Howard Hughes was rich and or desperately poor, depending on when you were looking at his life. But we should spend some time and go look at Howard Hughes' life, compare it to Elon. Maybe we can do that next week.
Yeah,
that'd be
kind of cool.
Thing. Yeah.
There we are. This is what I meant to go to.
Yeah.
Okay, so estimated savings, $150 billion. Amount saved per taxpayer, almost $1,000 per taxpayer, man. Now, if you don't pay taxes, that probably doesn't matter to you.
Right.
And there's a good chunk of people who don't, and that's okay. That's fine. But know that I don't want to pay an extra $1,000.
I don't want to pay.
Because if for instance, my tax dollars help you,
right,
I don't want to have to pay more to not help you.
Right.
I'd rather give that to help more people.
Right.
If I'm going to give it anyway. Like, come on.
I'd rather them take that $150 billion, right? And I'm pointing to the screen like you can see what I'm looking at. I'd rather have them take that.
Folks.
I'd rather them take that $150 billion
and give it to me.
And find police officers, first responders, people in the military, right? Veterans. There you go. Put it in a big bucket and start handing out $1 million checks to veterans.
I don't think if you're a veteran, you shouldn't have a place to live in this country.
Exactly.
Period.
Imagine what that can do for the veterans in our country. Not going to freaking condoms in Syria.
And we all know that there wasn't no condoms bought there. That's all black ops crap, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
It's because they were them over there is what the code name was for.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I get it.
Yeah. Well, it's kind of like, Oh, that led me to this other part. Okay. Which we talked about for a second. Okay. So everybody knows the horrible accident that happened in the Hudson River with the helicopter. I'm sure everybody's heard about it. I'm not going to play the video. Right now, I've watched it many times. It's freaking sad.
Was a CEO from Siemens, the company with sorted past, all the way to. I wouldn't doubt if they were tied to Operation Paperclip. They had a lot of stuff to do with Germany in World War II.
Just in case.
And there is there is some of them there was a division of it that moved to the United States, and they've done a lot of engineering projects that are, normal and or questionable. So, if you don't know what Operation Paper, I guess I should explain.
Yeah, just in case.
Some people don't know who Some people don't know what Operation Paperclip is. It was after World War II. We brought a lot of the scientists over here to
1600.
help. Yeah, 1600
Nazis.
Put them in our education systems to help further our research here in the United States. So
we also had giant strides in our
rocket technology,
medications.
No medications
after World War II. And you can look that up on your own, because Grok already froze on me today.
He got too deep, and Grok got a headache and went to sleep.
I got a little crazy with Grok. I asked it some questions that what really happened is, if I can look here, I went nuts, right? I was like, okay, I was curious about the Alex Jones pre 9/11. Okay, what he had to say, right?
Right.
So I asked, hey, did Alex Jones, predict? Now I know they did because I watched it.
Right.
But I just wanted to see if it was in here, right? And it's like, oh yes, he did. All right, yeah, great, okay, fantastic. You're crazy, and I'm like, yes, I know, but he did predict it. And they're like, you're right. So I was like, okay, I looked at that, and then I went into the Bolshevik Revolution, 1917, right? And then 60 million people killed with Vladimir Lenin, and so on and so forth, due to communist regime there. Yeah. And then I went into evidence of Trump-Russian collusion, just because I was curious as to what Grok would say. Right. And then I also added Hillary into that one.
Yeah.
And then I went and asked real quick about this, and I took pictures of it because I don't have it because it didn't save it.
Right.
I just thought off the top of my head while I was on the toilet, Grok, is there anything new that Siemens Technology Group has been working on? And it sat here. It was answering all my questions fine.
And then
it sat here for about 5 minutes, 3 to 5 minutes. And I went, that's weird.
Yeah.
So then I asked it here. It's a little odd that you're taking so long to answer.
Yeah, he did.
And it did it again.
Yeah.
Right?
Went to sleep.
And then I went, hey, Grok, how's it going? This is after I completely closed it out, Grok out. I force stopped it. And it didn't work again until I rebooted my phone. Wow. Completely had to turn my phone off, turn it back on.
It never does
that.
Then
we did the same thing here on my account.
Yeah.
And what happened?
Yeah, it froze.
It froze.
It's weird. Yeah.
So, very odd.
He's mad at you. You need to make up with Grok.
I have been. Me and Grok got into a little bit about gun rights.
Oh, okay.
Earlier, so nice. And free speech.
I do like that you can argue with it.
I mean, it's probably not good for me.
Well,
honestly, because I'm,
yeah.
Like, which one was it? It was this one right here. I went a little ham here because I said 9/11 thing. I said, wow, he's been right about a lot of things, it seems. And they're like, he wasn't right about Sandy Hook.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, okay, well, when you consider Sandy Hook, he did admit pretty quickly that he was wrong. And they're like, well, not really. It wasn't that quick. Yeah. And I'm like, okay. And they're like, you don't even know the damage that was done by his words. And I put damage ? Because I want to know how words damage.
Right.
And then it tells me, well, the damage was caused because he said terrible things and it hurt the people so badly. And dude, I feel terrible for anybody who was involved in anything like that and has to go through that. It's freaking a nightmare. But
the whole part
idea behind classifying speech as damaging
is garbage.
Is to take away your freedoms. Right. Period. There is no other reason other than control. So I went into this huge thing about, yes, but we have a First Amendment right to speak our mind, right or wrong. Damage does not come into that equation. Not here in the U.S. anyway. Also the point about, because they talk about crisis actors, so the U.S. government has used them before. Northwoods, anybody? Right. This is not to say that it's accurate about Sandy Hook. Okay, so the idea that gun control will help these situations seems to be pushed. Anyway, I went crazy into this.
Right.
And it broke down, First Amendment damage, so on and so forth. And then I'm like, nice breakdown. However, the idea that speech hurts people, because it's like, well, it still hurt them. And I was like, well, the Oxford Dictionary listed as physical pain or injury.
Right.
Injury or harm. And it's like, thanks for the props, because I didn't want it to kill me. And I said, thank you. And then, it kind of agreed with me a little bit.
Yeah, there you go.
It went back and forth here. And,
interesting.
It was pretty fun, to tell you the truth. It was like talking to somebody smarter than me, which is common.
Right. Cool. Yeah, I mean, it's no.
It did a good job.
No surprise that we are fans of Grok here at the program. The only thing I would like to see them add would be a text-to-speech.
It is a little woke, but that's okay.
It's the best of them that are out there. I've seen
for
anyway.
me.
Yeah, for me
So far.
I would like a text-to-speech option, which would be nice, but I hear that's coming. So
yeah, see how it does.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, that was pretty cool, right?
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
Pretty
it's nice you could go that in depth with it and actually provide a thoughtful argument to kind of test your own. And that's why I like talking to people. I know you're not supposed to talk politics and stuff, and I try to be as nice and even as possible when I'm talking to people because I would still, I don't know. I just still, it's good. It sharpens yourself when you can bounce your ideas off of other people. And your idea isn't strong if you can't back it up. If
you get frustrated, angry, start yelling, screaming, it's because you don't know what you're talking about most of the time, or you can't recall them quick enough, and that's okay.
Right.
But you should be able to
basics.
Yeah, you should have some basics down and be able to discuss things and talk like a reasonable human being.
Yeah.
Your opinions do not dictate who you are as a person all the time, and just because I disagree with your opinion does not mean that I do not like you.
Right.
And I had a friend who we were on completely opposite sides of the spectrum when it comes to political views and life.
Which spectrum?
Life views. Yeah, exactly.
Man, we're going to try to get everybody mad at us today.
But she had told me as a teacher, I had said, well, I'd keep my opinions out of things when it comes to homosexuality and things with children. Right? I have nothing to say about it because it's not my job. Right. My job is to teach you about technology or math or how to read, right? As what I did.
Awesome.
And she said, okay, what about your family pictures? And I was like, yeah, it's cool. I don't mind if you have your family picture up. And she did. And so do I. I had a picture of my daughter. And she goes, okay, so what about a gay teacher's family pictures?
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
Yeah.
I didn't think about that. Because when a kid, because they will come up and go, is that your husband? Is that your wife? Is that your mom, your dad, your kid, whatever. They're going to ask.
Sure.
Right? Then what do you say? Well, my answer to that was, I guess you need to take it out of your room.
Right.
Because I guess I shouldn't have it either.
Right. Well, that's what I would have it. You're not.
So I did. I removed mine.
You're not. Like
I didn't think about it that way.
No.
Because it was innocent.
It is.
And it's innocent for that person that is gay. It's innocent for them too, I'm sure.
Right. No, absolutely.
Right. But now you have to explain this. And it's not our job as teachers. It's not our job to explain to anyone, third graders or something, right?
I don't want to tell teachers that they can't put like pictures of their family on the desk. But when you look at it logically in my brain, what I'm thinking is like, you're not there to be, let's pick a name, Sue Stevens, right? You're Mrs. Stevens, the teacher. You're not Sue Stevens, the person when you're there at school.
Yeah, you're an instructor.
You're an instructor, especially for young kids. You're an up above entity. You are a learning.
Now, I think in college or something, this is totally different conversation.
Yeah, right. No, I'm talking about like
in elementary
school.
Primary school.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
I agree with you. Even into middle school.
You're supposed to not be a person. Like you are a person to look up to, an authority figure. Are there.
It's just like
instruct.
as a police officer, right?
Exactly.
If you pull over a crackhead and this dude takes a swing at you, he's not taking a swing at you.
Right, it's the
He's
badge.
taking a swing at the badge. He doesn't want to go to jail.
Yep.
You hook him up. You treat him with respect. You do your job.
That's
you
it.
Get him in the car and get him on his way.
100%.
And it's got to be ABC.
Yep.
Just like that.
100% agreed.
At the same time, some of these teachers have fantastic relationships with the kids, and it's the only reason those kids come to school. So this is a complicated situation.
Man, I get it. Yeah,
I just never thought about it that way.
No, I get it, and it does. And you bring up a good point. There's lots of teachers there that are good with their kids. And
they're fantastic. Yeah.
I don't think. Well, people are complicated things, and I don't think there's going to be any one solution to solve any of it. But there's got to be kind of a guideline, I guess.
We have to have an SOP, standard operating procedure.
It's got to be, because there's always going to be those few bad apples that are going to push it just past the line because they've got things they want to push.
Yeah.
And, it's sad. Like, it is what it is, though.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, we got
strangled far there.
We got music left.
And then we've got that.
Oh, and we have the just rewards.
Yeah, we can kind of look at that too. That's a little long though. So if you want to, we can kind of click through it. It's a video. I found it's interesting. It kind of ties into tech a little bit.
You want to do that first?
Yeah, we can do that, I guess. Let's see. So this is a gentleman on YouTube. I've been following for a while.
Cloning myself.
I really respect what he does. And he uses comedy. Kit Boga. He uses comedy to infuriate and discourage scammers that are online.
Oh yeah.
And there's a few of them out there, like what's the other gentleman that's really big too? Scammer Payback is another big one.
He likes to call them out by their name.
Yeah. I like him because he does a little bit more long form comment, and he does actually like characters and stuff, which is pretty hilarious. But he kind of explains something that he's been working on for several years now, and he starts to unveil it, and I think it's really, really hilarious. So let's run the tape, and we'll go through some of it and talk about it.
For the past 5 years, and we need to talk about it.
Just a minute, I gotta go to the bathroom. Just give me 2 seconds.
This is before ChatGPT, before DeepSeek. I had one simple dream.
Hey, that's Audacity.
Build the AI that would put me out of a job. What?
This is him trying to figure it out.
Okay, so cloning yourself is hard, especially when you've never written Python before. I had no idea how to do it, so the early iterations are kind of embarrassing. 1.
Here it is in 2020.
2. 3.
Letter I.
Do you know who you are speaking to?
Billy Mazier.
Oh no, little AI. But if you've been following along these past few years, you'll know that with the help of a friend, ABK16, we eventually built a successful clone.
I'm gonna sending you the text message. If you can see it, let me know, okay? From my different number.
Yeah, just send me a text message
in real
really
time.
quick.
It's giving it prompts.
Like I send you the account. Can you see that? And the purpose of the
That's
transaction.
it. So he's scraping their data, sending it to the FBI, and the computer's automatically doing it.
There's no ending to this either. That's a robot clone of me stealing a...
So he took all of his characters that he usually plays and infuriates the scammer with, and built enough prompts to keep these scammers going in a loop. And they keep
just
fighting,
to keep them on the line.
Just to keep them on the line.
Yeah, that's great.
So not just that, but he uses it to scrape their data. So when they give him a drop zone, when they give him a website or a phone number to call, that's all going in his bank, and it's going to the FBI.
Right.
So there's a part where it gets a little bit. Let's see here. There's a part. Here we go. This is when it gets a little more advanced. A little bit later, he actually runs into a call center where he has his own bot running the person in the background, and he can hear his own. You'll have to hear it. It's funny.
Renting a music video from YouTube, and I hope you can help me with it.
It waited patiently by the phone for 14 hours before this guy called.
You are not talking to any music company people, mother. You are talking to a Federal Trade Commission officer, Elviro Bedoya. That's my name.
The scammer is pretending to be from the government, I guess, who obviously wants gift cards. But this is the perfect scenario for the bot. It was a Saturday, I was working on something else, and this dude thinks he's talking to a grandma.
You're like a grandmother to me. And if this thing happened to her, I would love to help her and to protect her.
53 minutes goes by, and the call drops. But the scammer calls right back.
Oh, can you help me with that printer driver issue now?
Okay, if you go to the Target, okay, listen to me carefully. When you visit to the Target store,
the bot just pretends to go along with
that's the whole text. You can read it back, and it just
to buy gift cards.
On the back of that Target gift card, did you scratch it?
Oh yeah, I scratched it already.
Okay, now tell me the number. Tell me the number slowly, okay?
Okay, the first card number is 8123-456.
8123-456. Okay, go slowly. Go slowly. You are going too fast.
At this point, the scammer has spent 2.5 hours trying to get gift cards from a robot.
And this is one.
Okay, I scratched it, and it's a bunch of numbers. It's 347871029904533.
Go slow. You don't know how to speak or to tell the number?
He's so mad.
Slowly, I must say.
Hey, watch your language. I don't appreciate being called stupid.
I do believe that you don't feel appreciated but you are just teasing me off. When I told you, you need to share me that card number.
That's Bangladesh.
Oh yeah.
You are just telling me.
India, Bangladesh.
I think I got a shirt made there.
What is this? Are you talking to a people or are you talking to a machine?
787102990453. Is that the number you wanted?
That's 3 hours. The scammer will never get back.
That's
3
awesome.
hours. Someone else was safe. There's
Right.
more of these bots
Now
patiently
look at
waiting
if they
for a
expand
phone.
it.
An email comes in saying I owe $500.
There we
Instead
go.
of it just being me who calls, like I've done for the past 7 years, I spin up a few bots to call with me.
Thank you for getting connected to PayPal. How may I help you?
Thank you for calling PayPal. This is Peter Wills. How may I help you today?
Yeah, hi, I'm calling about...
I didn't know at first, but these two scammers were sitting next to each other.
Okay, could you please just confirm?
All right. So, what do you want? You want to keep the subscription or cancel?
the customer ID...
I want to cancel the
So
subscription.
he's picking up his
Can
own
you
bot
help
in the
me with
background.
All right. I'm going to help you out. So, ma'am, do one thing. Kindly get on that.
Okay, so just hold on.
He can hear it.
Yeah.
Wait, the guy in the background is talking to the
I
bot.
don't use Chrome. I'm more of an Internet Explorer person myself.
You can hear him say, I'm going to help you out.
PayPal security subscription,
First of all, I have to connect you to our secure server.
Okay.
which costs you $150.
PayPal security.
We're opening up a live refund and cancellation form so that we can. Okay.
And it costs you $551.
That's great.
Yeah, but I want to cancel that. I don't want to pay for it.
Could you please just inform me, what is the reason for the cancellation?
Ma'am, I can simply guide you, alright? Kindly follow my.
Say that again?
What is the reason for the cancellation?
Because I don't want to pay the
Oh,
money.
here we go.
So let me know.
Let's see.
The first location is from New Jersey, second one is from Houston, Texas, Rhode Island, Michigan,
He
Albany,
hits
New
the
York.
hits the whole cost center with
about what
10
happened. Like,
bucks.
how did they get my bank information, and how did they link it to a fake account?
That's great.
Now calm down and listen to me very carefully.
We're making as many calls as we can, as often as we can. And whether the call lasts 15 minutes, 20 minutes, or an hour, sometimes it ends in anger.
Wait, what's going on? Why do I need to type G for golf and BG? Can
No,
you
I
please
cannot
explain
explain
what's
you, you fucking
happening?
moron piece of shit.
I don't have Microsoft Edge. I don't have Google Chrome. I want this charge canceled and refunded.
You mother. You mother. You. Sorry.
So he
Oh
spun
no,
up.
my connection is dropping again. Are you still there, Roger?
You.
That's awesome.
I guess that's a hot topic.
So he spuns up 10, 15, 20 bots once he finds a call center.
It just smacks them with it.
Floods them. So they're all stuck talking to these robots.
These robots. That's
Right.
fantastic.
Isn't it?
Yeah,
that's amazing.
wonderful.
He's doing the God's work,
Yeah.
man. God, just
Good job there, man.
yeah, that's amazing.
Kid
He's
Boga.
been on.
I'm not subbed to him, but I'm gonna.
Yeah.
I really like that video.
Yeah,
Good
he's
job, man. That's
pretty
badass.
amazing. And his own videos that he does with
The
just
more
him.
fake grandmas you got on there, the less real grandmas you got on there.
That's
so.
it. That's it. His-
I got a bot on Facebook
you?
Messenger that posed as somebody else, somebody that I know,
Yeah.
and contacted me, asked me, "Hey, how you doing?" And I hadn't talked to them in about 3 months, so I was
Right.
like, "Oh, pretty good. How you doing?" They're like, "We're really doing good." I really thought it was very good conversation, right? Then it's like, "Hey, I just saw you on the FSP list or something.
Right.
Is everything okay?" And I was like, "Well, I don't know what that is."
Yeah.
And they're like, "It's like the family support
Plan.
something plan or
Right.
whatever." Yeah.
Do you want free
for the
money?
state of Idaho?
Just give me your stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. I was like, no, we're good. And now this person that I'm talking to actually does work with the state. So I'm like, oh shoot, they do see health and welfare.
They were hacked.
So I thought, well, okay, but I don't give out any information until especially on Messenger or anything like that's not
Right,
happening,
yeah.
right? So they're like, she's like, well, I received $150,000. If you just, I'm like, oh,
okay.
have a good day.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
So I let the real person, I went right in and let the real person know, like, hey, dude, you got hacked, you know,
Right.
Something's going on. But
yeah.
I mean, you'd be surprised at how many people fall for these things constantly.
Yeah.
It's
yeah.
constant, dude.
It's easy if you're not paying attention. It's real easy. You
Yeah,
know.
it's super easy.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, pretty cool.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, so we got a music. See, we last week we went over a new band, a small band, because we're sick. We love music and we want to share it with people, but we're getting sick of hit with copyright strikes. So we're going to do everything that we can to push small artists that aren't signed with big. Oh well, no, they're not small.
But they're not signed by anybody.
Okay, well that's it, right? So independent artists, let's say that.
Independent.
So, Tom McDonald was a great one. We went last week, and
he's up there too.
He's up there too.
Yeah.
So let's just say this: independent artists, free of the whole industry.
Yeah.
Right. The music industry.
So
that's what we don't like.
People probably have seen him. Right. This is the drummer.
Okay.
Right. He holds the record for the fastest beats per minute.
Yeah, fastest drummer.
And he's just a fantastic metal drummer with a very basic kit.
Okay.
But El Estepario Cibriano. Now usually he does cover songs. He does stuff that's impossible with one hand.
Right.
He's had a couple bands. I've listened to them all. I've liked them all. I have not heard this.
Okay.
Serge from System of a Down.
Oh,
really likes him and wanted to do an album with him.
Nice.
So this is one song off their album.
Sweet.
So let's check it out.
Let's roll the tape.
And this is just his drum.
Yeah.
Part.
Sure.
It's called Doppler Affection.
Oh.
Is that an ashtray?
That's hilarious. Trumbledore.
That's great. Can you hear the constant constant snare roll?
That's a sick beat, man.
That snare roll, it's like, I mean, it's almost like,
yeah.
I mean, that snare roll is insane.
Pretty intense. Yeah.
Just smacked his ashtray.
Yeah. Ooh.
That was sick.
Yeah.
Dude, that start-stop right there.
There's a couple of fills that I've seen. I'm impressed, man. That's great. He's got a unique sound.
Yeah, it really does. Yeah. It's right there. Oh my god! One more time. I didn't go back far enough.
That's tight.
Right there.
Yep.
Dang. Oh, that was beautiful. Oh my gosh. You can hear Serge there.
Yeah.
Plays with a lot of power too.
Yeah.
Which I love. That's fantastic.
It's amazing you can do that with such a small kit.
We gotta go back for that.
Yep.
That's that famous Serge scream.
Cowbell. Needs more cowbell.
Yeah. Sick, dude.
Yep. Yeah.
I love that the drums follow the guitar there for a second.
Yeah. Interesting.
The different time on each limb.
Yeah. That roll was ridiculous. You said a cigarette went flying. That's what I saw. That's hilarious.
The Groove Father.
Yeah.
His hat. That was sick.
Yeah.
But just crazy.
Nuts.
Oh my. We have to go backwards for a second. That change up. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's change. Dude, look at my goosebumps.
That's ridiculous. That's hilarious. Maybe you are gay.
My back. My back hair. Well, maybe I am. You see, I mean, look at him. I'm starting to sweat. My back hair standing up.
Oh.
We gotta get that change up right there.
Yeah, sick. Crazy.
It's insane.
Yep.
Oh my. Did you hear that? What is that?
Yep.
Marching through hell and sand. When will we see the end? Out on the promised land. For and gone again. Just tonight.
That snap he gets.
Sick, dude. Just power. Oh, dude, that was fantastic.
That was good.
Hey there, guys. How are you doing?
Eccentric for Serge is an eccentric person, actually. If you've heard more of System's newer stuff, it was a little bit in that vein in terms of his vocal.
Right. A little more
subdued.
harmonious.
Yeah. But when he goes into that flow for a minute in there, that's like, dude, it's so offbeat.
Right.
And like bouncing back and forth. That's insane.
I think, my thoughts, right? Right out the get-go. And I know a little bit, we watched one of his videos before, and I know you said that he didn't used to be a drummer, and he kind of taught himself how.
Right, he wasn't a musician at all.
Wasn't a musician at all, and just wanted to pick it up. And I think that's why he's different, right?
He person himself, right?
He started probably with a 2-piece or something like that, 3-piece, and worked his way up from there. He is very snare-centric, which probably is how he started, right?
He's got like a jazz kit.
Right. And I like this, though.
I do too. All the big flash and stuff is like, it's cool.
Right. Keeping it simple, but like being extremely technical with a smaller amount of kit has its place. And it sounded amazing. And he rocked every inch of the kit he had, for sure. And it sounded amazing.
Yeah, and there's a lot of, Vinnie Paul in there.
Yeah.
And I hear just with the thunder that he brings to the drums.
Yeah.
The power that he has, And here's 220 beats a minute.
Okay, so how to play 220 BPMs.
So this is the stuff he talks about normally, like he does instructional stuff.
5 minutes. Gotcha. Please remember the deal. I'm just going to keep doing lessons if this video
for a guy
reaches
like this to be in a band with
comments. Now let's say you want to do this.
It's exceptional.
But you don't have the balls to practice. Not a problem. We are just going to do this. Double stroke with our right leg. Single stroke with our left leg. So, it sounds like this. And then you fill the gap using a very, very strong rim shot.
That sounds like I can do that.
Mm-hmm.
So So once you have practiced that phrasing for long enough, you will be able to play crazy shit with no effort. Check this out.
That's insane.
That's hilarious.
Well, I told you.
That's what he usually does.
Huh.
Stuff like that, you know.
Interesting.
So for somebody like that to be in that type of band,
that's awesome.
It's pretty awesome.
Yeah, no, it's very good.
Yeah, looking forward to hearing the album. He does have it on his page here.
Okay.
I haven't seen any of the other songs yet from it, but he's got the whole album, 40 minutes. The cost.
Wow. Nice.
Yeah, so
cool,
pretty cool.
Man. Gotta check it out.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, it's El Estepario Cibriano. So check them out, guys. Yeah.
Pretty cool.
Very cool stuff.
All right.
I think that'll do it for today.
Yeah,
all right. I think that's it for episode 6 of the Blacksmith and the Tech Guy. If you've seen anything you disagree with or you're offended by, definitely if you're offended by, please leave a comment below.
If you ever want to talk about it, you want to debate it, you ever want to be on a show, you know, if you have a way to get internet, a camera, and a mic, I'll bring you on.
Yeah,
you know, 100%.
Absolutely.
We'll join up and do a little, have you on the show. That'd be pretty fun to do.
Yeah.
If you want to just eat me alive, then, hey, come on and do it.
Don't know where he's been, but
that's true.
But we appreciate everybody who takes the time to check out our videos, and especially takes the time to engage, because that definitely helps us out a lot. So also, if you have any questions for us regarding blacksmithing, tech stuff, we don't mind helping people if you're in a bind. Also, if you need some advice, you need some help with a question you have regarding tech. I mean, we all have AI now, so we can all type stuff into Grok.
But if you want to know how to use a computer,
there you go.
You want to know how to build a computer. You want to know, should I push this RAM stick this hard or not?
Snap.
Ask.
You push it till it cracks.
And
right?
you do with RAM. That's why it's so fun. You push it till it cracks. Sometimes it's a good crack. Sometimes it's a bad crack.
That's it. Then you just take it back and say it was like that when you bought it.
Right. Except Newegg goes, no.
Right.
Even if they send it to you broken, they go, no.
All right. Well, we're going to wrap it up there, folks.
Thanks, folks.
We appreciate it very much, and you guys have a wonderful day.
Check you later.